Let's bring in Phil Robertson, who is the director or deputy director over for Asia Division at Human Rights Watch. He joins us now from Bangkok in Thailand. Phil, good to have you on the show. So recently, as I understand, we've seen a pro-military monk come out suggesting that there should be a change in the junta leadership. We've seen a similar rhetoric come out from pro-military journalists. I mean, 6 months ago, this would have been unthinkable, right?
Right. Well, and the old proverb of rats leaving a sinking ship, it may be applicable here. I mean, you're talking about people who have been longtime advocates of the military who have decided suddenly they want to hedge their bets. And what that indicates very much is that the situation may be swinging in terms of momentum and changes on the ground towards the insurgent alliance, which is ethnic armed groups as well as the People's Defense Forces, which are militias that have been created by people to stand up and fight back against the Myanmar military.
Phil, I mean, going on your analogy of rats leaving a sinking ships, I want to ask you a three-part question. Is it clear how Min Aung Hlaing could be pushed out, who could replace him, and whoever his replacement is, if it's going to make any real difference?
Well, I think that Min Aung Hlaing, as the senior general and the person responsible for the coup, I mean, he's really to blame for the devastating situation that the country finds itself in. And, you know, everybody's talking about accountability for him. But we haven't seen any serious indications of fractures within the ruling junta. And this is not a military that is known for, you know, fractious divisions. It has stood together over the many years. And so we have not seen, for instance, someone rise up to challenge Min Aung Hlaing. We've not seen indications of, like, for instance, mass defections of units to oppose Min Aung Hlaing. He's still holding on. But what is quite clear is the people of Myanmar are disgusted and done with these guys. And they're facing attacks by the military on a daily basis, which we've assessed to be crimes against humanity, because they're attacking by air. They're using heavy artillery to target civilians. And this is outrageous and unacceptable, and an indication of the lack of legitimacy and the unpopularity of the Myanmar military junta, that, you know, they are facing a united people who don't want them anymore.
I can understand that, you know, if it's incompetence from a military perspective, it was concentrated on one particular, let's say, the Shan state, then maybe the problem could be solved when you look at it from the military's the junta's perspective. But it's not just there. I mean, it's just you have multiple fronts and a rising disgust, a hate towards this, which makes it infinitely more difficult for them to overcome this.
Yeah, I think that's correct. And what we're seeing is closer coordination between the various different ethnic groups, not only the Brotherhood Alliance, which, you know, sort of kicked off their offensive on 10/27, but also with the Karen, the Karenni, the Mon, the Chin, and others who have also taken up arms against this military junta. You know, everybody is making gains. You know, in the western state of Rakhine, there's been, you know, major losses by the Myanmar military. The issue, I think, is to what extent the military will lash back and, you know, continue to or expand their human rights abuses against people, because this is the way the Myanmar military works. They attack people, they attack civilians. And that's why we've been calling for the UN to pressure for an international arms embargo against the Myanmar military junta. And that's why we've been calling on sanctions against aviation fuel, so that the military cannot use its helicopters and its jet planes to attack civilian targets.
Okay. Phil Robertson, always a pleasure talking to you. Great having you here on the NewsHour. Thank you.